The New York Jets turned down a first and second round pick from the LA Rams to move back 9 spots. Twice. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Talking Jets with Tigo. My name is Tigo, and today we're going to be talking about the report that came out from Sports Illustrated, but more importantly, it came out from Arya Mirov, who basically showed some behind-the-scene footage that showed that the Los Angeles Rams tried to come up to the number 10 spot, that they were targeting Brock Bowers, and that they tried to call the New York Jets and offered pick 19, which was their first round pick, and pick 52 in the second round to move to number 10, and they were targeting tight end Brock Bowers, and the Jets instead turned that trade down, traded with the Minnesota Vikings to get so that the Minnesota Vikings could get J.J. McCarthy, moved back one pick, and got Olu Fashanu. Now, I want to have a conversation about it because I think this is very interesting, because I, leading up to the draft, did propose the idea that the Rams were a team that we should keep an eye out, and there were reports that the Rams were in love with Brock Bowers, and so this whole situation makes sense. So now that we know all of the information as fans and we can look back at the draft, was it the right decision to turn down this trade, or should we have taken the trade? And what would the Jets draft look like if we had taken the trade? And I think that question all comes down to, what did you want the New York Jets to do with their first round pick? Period. Were you team weapon, or were you team offensive tackle? Because if you wanted an offensive tackle, then trading to 19 would have put us in a position where we probably would not have gotten one of the guys that we wanted. Because after pick 10, let's say Brock Bowers goes to the Rams at 10. J.J. McCarthy goes to Minnesota at 11. The only thing that might change is the Raiders, who took Brock Bowers, might take Olu Fashanu at 13. And then the rest of the draft probably stays the same. You're seeing Fashanu would go off the board, Fuaga goes off the board, and Amarius Mims goes off the board. So then the question comes at 19, do you feel comfortable with Troy Fautanu, Tyler Guyton, Graham Barton, Jordan Morgan, one of these other offensive tackles that went after pick 11 to the New York Jets with Olu Fashanu? And personally, I don't. It would have sucked because Amarius Mims went at 18. That's the guy that I would have targeted at 19 because I loved his skill set. Now, if you're talking weapon, well, that's a different conversation, because, well, Brian Thomas Jr. was still on the board, and I was and still am a big fan of Brian Thomas Jr. That's who I wanted the New York Jets to target in the first round. But let's say that the plan is still offensive tackle, and they pivot, they go to 19, and they walk away with Jordan Morgan, the offensive tackle out of Arizona, and or Troy Fautanu, if that's who you like, whatever. They go offensive tackle at 19. Well, what we've heard is that the New York Jets had Malachi Corley as wide receiver 4 in the class, and we know that they had made multiple attempts to try to get back into the second round to try and get Malachi Corley, which we ended up getting at pick 65, and then so that would be the only swap that you would make, is 65 goes to 52, and we make that pick there. And we would keep our third-round picks, and I think it's an interesting conversation overall. I don't know what the right decision is, because ultimately I kind of like how the draft played out for the New York Jets this past draft period, walking away with Malachi Corley, Braylon Allen, Olu Fashanu, Isaiah Davis, Stiggers, Key. I'm still not the biggest Jordan Travis fan. I don't like that pick. But with all of that stuff still going on, it would have been nice to have a second round pick and a third round pick. It would have been nice to be able to walk away maybe with another wide receiver. It would have been nice to get maybe another interior offensive lineman. These are the questions where is the talent level of Olu Fashanu, which, by the way, is incredibly high, is his talent level at offensive tackle and the value that we got for him better than the value that we would have gotten for a guy like Troy Fontenot, plus whoever it is that we would have gotten in the third round? And that's the question that you have to ask. Like I said, I'm very happy with how the draft played out for the New York Jets, but seeing some of the players that did go in the third round, there are players here that I would have loved to be on the New York Jets in, Cooper Beebe, the interior offensive lineman, and, Kalen Bullock, the safety out of USC, or double dipping in the wide receiver room and going back-to-back wide receivers and getting Jermaine Burton, the wide receiver out of Alabama. There's a lot of these guys that I really, really liked that would have been assets to this team in the third round that would have really made us more competitive. But we do have our left tackle of the future and a stud wide receiver, which is exactly what I wanted to walk away with in this draft. So I don't know. That's why I'm making this video. I really am curious as to what you guys think. Would you have taken that trade knowing now how the draft plays out? Are you happy with the offensive line talent that was available at 19? If not, would you have pivoted? And what pick would you have made at 19? What pick would you have made at 52? How would that affect your third round? Let me know all of that stuff in the comment section below. Hey, if you like the content, hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to be notified about all of the future Talking Jets with Tigo content. And last but not least, go Jets.